Hello friends and welcome to Boardscape. I'm Aaron and today we have a number of new Kickstarters to go over here in the middle of March. Now before we get started, I want to say thank you to Red Beetle, who is my first Patreon, and I want to give all of you a reminder that every month at the beginning of the month, I will be giving away free games to those who are enrolled to the Patreon. So as you enroll, depending on what pledge level you pledge at, you will receive entries into this drawing. Come April 1st, I will be drawing both for Mystic Vale and Seafall. As of right now, 2 weeks ago, Red Beetle is the only patron that is signed up for this. So if you would like an easy way to receive free games, or if you want to help this channel at all, then go ahead and go to the Patreon linked below and sign up. For anywhere from the $3 level to the $25 level, every single dollar will help me be able to produce the best content that I possibly can. So, again, if you want to be able to receive entries into the drawings, go ahead and go below. While you're down there, why not subscribe, right? So let's go ahead and get to the games for this week. The first game is going to be Everdell. Now this has been a game that has been around for a while, and today, or this week, launched the final Kickstarter for the final expansions. Everdell has 2 new expansions coming, New Leaf and Mistwood, as well as a complete collection, a complete collector's edition, if you will. So there is obviously massive interest in this game. It's almost raised $2.5 million, 16,000 backers, 10 days to go. I fully expect this to reach probably over 3.5, maybe even $4 million by the end of it, which is astronomical, especially compared to what Everdell has done in the past. But it's going to be this complete collection that is pushing it forward, as we'll see. If I'm going to give a brief overview here of these games and these expansions, if you are interested in doing more of a deep dive, then go ahead and hit the link above. It will be right there where I go more in depth in what this game is and what all is going on in this Kickstarter. So let's take a look at these 2 new expansions. First, we have New Leaf and Mistwood. New Leaf is going to be the final big expansion. As you can see here, it is adding a train station to the right side of the board, the final side that doesn't have something added. The left side will have Pearlbrook, the bottom will have Spirecrest, the top will have Belfair, and the right will have the New Leaf. Now in New Leaf, you're going to get everything that you would expect in a Everdell expansion, right? You're going to get new worker meeples. As we scroll down, new events, new forest cards, just all these things that you would expect because it's quintessential to Everdell. On top of that, you're going to get this train station area. Now this area is going to be rife with different resources that you can pick up. It's also going to be dropping off passengers. These passengers are going to join your city if you meet their requirements. Maybe some of them want to see more critters. They're not interested in constructions, so you need to have some critters. Maybe some of them need certain constructions to be built, or a certain number, and then they will visit your station. So these over here are going to be a main way to gain new victory points, right? Now, on the left side of the train is going to be new cards that come with the New Leaf expansion, and the exciting thing about these cards is that they will come with these Golden Occupied tokens. Now, the interesting thing is that you can only have 3 of these Golden Occupied tokens in your tableau at any time, meaning 3 of your 15 cards will be able to hold these off. So it's going to add that interesting mechanic where do I want to wait and see what comes out later? Do I want to go ahead and grab something that's out now? Sort of that risk management is going to be ever present with this expansion. So, Mistwood. Mistwood is going to be adding something that primarily is aimed at the solo and two-player experience. Now, you are going to get new meeples or worker meeples you can play as, power cards, the base things that you would expect. But on top of that, you're going to receive the big critter meeple, Nightweave. And Nightweave is going to be the main thing going on in this expansion. See, she has her own boards going on, and it's going to add sort of a third player element to a two-player game, or an opponent to play against in the solo game, something other than Rugwort that you can play against. So Nightweaver will be adding all sorts of things that you can see down here. She's going to have plots and plans that are sort of changing up the game in a way. And those plots and plans will impact the things that you do or want to do. On top of that, you're going to get a couple mini expansions. You're going to get a couple legendary packs, 10 new legendary cards, 5 core and Everdell cards, and even 8 new farm cards based off of the different seasons that are present in the Everdell game. So those are the 2 new expansions. If you are interested in those and have everything else Everdell, then you can get the big old box of storage. And this box is going to be the same box that comes with the complete collection, with an additional recyclable sleeve on top. So this box on the left is what you will receive. The box on the right is the same thing as the left, except with the recyclable sleeve on top of it. So that's the difference between the big old box. There's not a difference, really. It's going to be the same box, same insert, just it comes with an additional sleeve. Now, if you are interested in the complete collection, then it will be $200. That has caused some controversy in the community because it's cheaper than a lot of people thought that it should be, but the more people that can play this game, as far as I'm concerned, the better. If you've never played this, then this is going to be the cheapest possible ever way to be able to play the complete collection of Everdell. $200 is an absolute steal for this game. And in this, you're going to get everything Everdell. You're going to get the wooden trees. You're going to get all the expansions as though they were the complete edition, the collector's editions. Meaning you're going to get the metal coins, the upgraded resources, the additional cards, all the meeples. You're going to get everything possible in one edition. So, one of the things that a lot of people have complained about with the complete edition and the new expansions is that when we scroll all the way down, we see that they did not really accommodate those that already had some things, but not everything. It was either by the new expansions or by the whole thing again with the complete collection. And they pointed you all the way at the bottom here and said, hey, you want these other items? Go check out our Amazon store. Now that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and Starling Games sort of made up for it by lowering the price after the outcry on the Amazon store. So, if you are looking for the collector's edition of Pearlbrook or Spirecrest, then you can currently, as of the time of this recording, get both of those for $50 on the Starling Games Amazon site, which is average. I mean, in the previous Kickstarters, they were $40 a piece plus shipping. Right now, they have them for $50 a piece with free shipping if you have Amazon Prime, which a lot of people do. So if you're looking for those, then now is going to be the time to get them at the Amazon store of Starling Games. Again, if you want to know more about the Everdell expansion and who should back it and who it's for, then go ahead and check out the other video. It will also be linked at the end of this video, just sort of explaining more about who this campaign is for. Next up, we have Super Fantasy Brawl. Now this is a game that I personally expected to do better. As of the time of this recording, you're only going to have a couple days to back this, so if you're interested, go ahead and hop on it. It's It's got over 6,000 backers, $400,000 raised. Not doing terrible, but I thought that it would do better. I expected this, with how popular Super Fantasy Brawl has been since it released, to raise $750,000 minimum. I kind of feel like this is getting lost in the shuffle of the madness of all these Kickstarters trying to just sort of hop on the bandwagon of the new stimulus check here in America. So, Super Fantasy Brawl is going to offer a couple things. First, if you don't know what the game is, it's going to be a skirmish game where both sides has 3 characters. You're going to pick and choose characters. And as you do, you're building a team. And with this team, you're going to be trying to complete objectives. Whoever finishes the objective first wins. And one of the fun things about this is a lot of skirmish games have an alternative win, where if you just sort of knock out the other team, then they can't win because they don't have anybody left. But the cool thing that I love about Super Fantasy Brawl is that if you kill somebody, if they're knocked out, then they're just out for one round. They come back at their starting base in the following round. So the objective is going to be key, not trying to destroy your opponent. So, Super Fantasy Brawl, a lot of people love it. It's a small skirmish game, and they are giving you a couple different ways to enter into this genre, into this game. The Mega Fan Pledge, as you can see here, if you buy everything retail, is going to be $300. But if you just hop on board now, it's going to be $169 plus shipping, meaning it's still going to be cheaper than if you buy everything at retail. Now, what all do you get in this pledge? This right here is going to be the base game. In the base game, or the retail base game, in the retail base game, you're going to get 6 creatures, or 6 people that you can play as, meaning you're going to be playing the same 6 people over and over again, just sort of maybe mixed up depending on who's playing. Now, on top of that, you're going to have some of the first season broken down into expansions, 3 different expansions, and the second season broken down into 3 expansions as well. And we'll take a look at more of that in a second. But one thing of note is going to be this right here. This is going to have some holographic cards. So in both this and the round 2 pledge, you will get these holographic cards. Throughout the game, you're going to be upgrading your 3 characters, and as you upgrade, you'll flip them over to another side that does better things. Maybe they have better health, maybe they have armor now, or have a better ability, whatever it might be. These holographic cards are going to allow you to know who is upgraded at a quick glance. Now, I've played Pokemon, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh!, I've played Magic the Gathering, and I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that holographic cards are, for some reason or other, better than non-holographic cards. So, if you want those, this Kickstarter is going to be the only way to get them. You might as well hop on now, even if it's at the dollar pledge like I am at. I'm not 100% sold on the game, personally, but we'll sort of ride it out, and once the pledge manager opens later, make a decision. Now, if you just want the things that are in round 2, then you can pick those up for $50. That includes the 9 new characters, sleeves for them, and the holographic cards. The Superfan Pledge is going to be $65 and is going to include everything that was in the original game, nothing from round 2. So this is going to give you the multiple characters in the base game. There's going to be 7 here because of the 1 additional, along with the 2 of the 3 expansions, the Art of War and the Circle of Blood. So right here you're getting everything in the base game from the original Kickstarter for $65 plus shipping. Not too bad. If you're interested in this game and you're not sold completely, then this is an amazing entry point. $20 shipping, $25 shipping, $80, $90 for this game seems on par. These miniatures, if you look them up, the miniatures are amazing. Like, I wish I would have pulled up some pictures, but I didn't. But as far as detail goes, size, the chunkiness of the pieces, people have loved painting these. So if you are a painter even, then this is going to be a game for you because they have awesome minis worth painting. They're not going to be the fragile, frail things that you get in a lot of games. So they sort of go into more depth here in each of the additional expansions and what's going on. But if you're interested in this at all, then go ahead and check it out. The links are below to the Kickstarter pages. Now is an amazing time to hop on. One thing I do want to note that I absolutely love is going to be this Mental Might expansion, which is going to give Zinjin, Alchemy, and Isabella. And Isabella has become my favorite character in all of Super Fantasy Brawl. I've not played the game, but I can already tell you that I love her because she's in a wheelchair. Now, I work in the school district with special education children, and so I interact with those in wheelchairs often, and not just, that may have came out a little wrong, not just special needs are in wheelchairs, but those are those that I interact with the most. But the fact that they are putting somebody into this game in a wheelchair just shows that they are starting to reach out to other areas and appeal to other people that otherwise don't always feel represented. We're in a time period where gender and race are huge when it comes to feeling represented, and even now, those with any sort of special need, whether physical or mental, often are still feeling left out. And so seeing Isabella in this game sitting in a wheelchair is going to appeal to a lot of the children that I have often dealt with or taught over the last few years, and I love it with a passion. I wish that more games would do stuff like that. So, that little side rant over. That's Super Fantasy Brawl. If you're interested, you only have a couple days as of the recording of this video to go ahead and pledge. After that, we have Catacombs and Castles and the Catacombs Black Box. Over $50,000 raised, 600,000 backers, 16 days to go. This is going to be two different things in one. First, you're going to have the Catacombs and Castles 2nd Edition, and the Catacombs Black Box, which is an expansion for Catacombs, which is a separate game than Catacombs and Castles. Now, if you don't know what Catacombs and Castles is, it's going to be a sort of, I guess, skirmish game, where one side is playing the Catacombs, and the other side is playing the Castle, where the Catacombs is trying to get their way inside and complete objectives, the Castle is trying to keep everybody outside, and it's going to be a dexterity game. So, as you can see here, you have all these little circle pieces that you're going to be flicking around the board. And as you do, you're going to be trying to flick them across the moat. You're going to be trying to flick them behind trees for cover. You're going to be trying to knock other pieces into the water or off the board. And it is a high dexterity game. Now, throughout this game, you're going to be doing a number of things, including preparing the map, picking your heroes, which will do a variety of things, and then flicking, attacking, and defending based on how well you flick your game, or your pieces throughout this game. The Catacombs Black Box is going to add, which again is separate, is going to add new double-sided playmats for the Catacombs game. So if you like the game, then this gives you 2 new maps to play on, as well as a variety of new and alternate monster cards. So, the Black Box, as you can see here, is adding these sorts of things. Now, this has done a lot with their pledges. They have covered every single thing that they could possibly think of. If you want to upgrade Catacombs and Castles from the base game, the first edition, to the new second edition, get the new upgraded pieces and whatnot, then you can get that for $40. If you want just the black box expansion for Catacombs, then you can get that for $48. If you want all of Castle's second edition, that's going to be $52 US. If you're interested in upgrading the second edition Castles and getting the black box, if you're interested in the second edition Huntress, if you're interested in Catacombs, the third edition big box, whatever you're interested in, they have a pledge level for you. So if you are pledging to this game, make sure you are getting the right thing, because nothing would suck more than paying money to realize that you're not getting the whole thing. And I say that primarily because of that initial pledge level of $40 US, where it is an upgrade. So you have to own Catacombs and Castles first edition to be able to really use that $40 pledge level. They do have a variety of upgrades that you can check out and other things. But if you're interested, then there's going to be a link below. Go ahead and check it out. Next up, we have Gloomier, A Night at Hemlock Hall. It's been doing well, over 125,000 raised, 1,300 backers 24 days ago. This is going to be a standalone sequel to Gloom. And Gloom is a game that a lot of people love. It's sort of got that dark humor vibe to it, right? Addams Family, what else? The Unfortunate Series of Events, the Nightmare Before Elm Street, just sort of that dark gothic humor that is hard to pull off. But Gloom did it well, and Gloomier looks as though it's doing it just as well. Let's take a look. Now, if you're interested in Gloomier, one thing to note is that this is going to be a dark fantasy or a dark humor game, where throughout the whole game, you are trying to have your people have the biggest and worst things happen to them before they die. So that can be everything from, imagine if you're watching the Addams Family and Uncle Fester is in the tub and he falls through the ceiling and lands on the floor. So that might be something that happens in Gloomier or Gloom. Just something, all these terrible things are happening to these people. You're looking for negative points. Whoever has the most negative points wins. It says here, misery and mystery abound in Hemlock Hall, the imposing estate, and his eccentric family of misfits. Now, as you go throughout this game, you're going to be sort of laying new tiles or new cards on top of things, as you can see here. And as you do, it's going to change the story of what's happening to that person all the way to their death. From terrible event to when they finally succumb to the darkness. Gloomier is going to be I want to say a romp, but that might not be the right word. So why Gloomier? First, because it's not that expensive. Let's look at this pledge level. $24, and you get Gloomier and the Gloom Chronicles, which we'll take a look at in a second, as well as discounts on all the different Gloom and Gloom expansions as add-ons. And it's estimated as October of this year, so not that far away. Now, one thing to note is that this is going to have more storytelling than Gloom. One of the big ways that that's going to be is going to be with this Gloom Chronicles down here. Now, the Gloom Chronicles is going to add, well, first of all, there's stretch goals, but they're going to add a small expansion that sort of gives a story that's going on. Something that you can go from spot to spot to spot, whether that's the unhappy birthday that you start with, or the Trapped on a Train, or the World's Unfair. Whatever these places might be, these are going to give locations and settings that your stories are taking place, allowing for a little bit more of a narrative event to happen. As well as all of that, whoever has the best score in Gloomier is going to decide how the story actually ends. How does the axe murderer actually win, or what actually happens with the train? All these things. It's going to have that element of storytelling that a lot of games are missing, I feel. So you get both of those for $24. For $49, you can add the Gloomier, or the Gloom Grief case, which is a big box version for you to put all your various Gloom games into. Yeah, Gloom is fun. If you are interested in Gloom and Gloomier or any of the expansions, then you can get those for cheap now with this Kickstarter. If you want everything all at once, then you can get that for $270 US. Save $80 plus shipping. They only have 270 left, so if you're interested in getting everything Gloom, now's the time. Next up, we have Heroes of Normandy, the Big Red Edition. Again, doing okay. Almost $80,000 raised, 1,000 backers, 15 days to go. This is going to be Heroes of Normandy sort of 2.0, an upgraded version. So this has been a game that's been out for a while and a lot of people love. It's one of the main introductory games in the war genre. Heroes of Normandy and Memoir 44 are going to be almost your two main introductory scenarios. Or games, I guess, into the war game genre. In this Big Red Edition, this second edition, it's going to have upgraded graphics, updated pieces, and just sort of make the game look better. So, if you are at all interested in Heroes of Normandy, then the second edition is going to be the way you want to go. Again, new graphics, fine-tuned rules, new components to unlock during the campaign, and all fully compatible with the entire hero system that has been released so far. I'm not going to go too in-depth in this because Heroes of Normandy has been out for a while. If you're interested in what the game actually is, there's 1,000 videos out there that you can check out. But just know that if you are interested in this game, this second edition might be the perfect way to go. It'll cost you $36 for an upgrade pack if you already have the game, and $41 if you want the new core box, right? If you want the core box and stretch goals, as well as the promotionals, then that'll cost you $78. If you want everything, then it'll be $132 US approximately. Next up, we have a game that is blowing up more than I think anybody would have imagined. Stellaris, The Infinite Legacy. It's been out for just a couple days and $2.1 million raised. I would not be surprised if this raised over $5 million by the end of the campaign. I would estimate closer to $4 million, 3.5, 4 million by the time it's over. But with 21 days to go and them slowly rolling out information about the game, anything can happen. Over 12,000 backers. This is a game people have been waiting for a while. And again, I have a little bit more of an in-depth video linked above. Go ahead and click it if you want to know more about Stellaris Infinite Legacy. The basic gist is that this is going to be a legacy game that can pretty much go on, as they say, infinitely. It's not a legacy game in that you're changing components, but that game to game will continue the story. So almost maybe a campaign-based game, but again, it's not really a campaign, right? Now, a lot of people have signed up, 11,000 backers for this Early Bird Deluxe Edition. As of the time of this recording, there's 33 hours to go. I would approximate maybe 10 hours to go by the time this video is released. So there's no reason not to back this early bird and decide later whether or not you're actually interested in this game. If you see this, go to Kickstarter, back the early bird, decide over the next 20 days whether or not this is a game for you. So this is going to be a 4X game where you are sort of exploring the galaxy, just sort of seeing what's out there. And the cool thing is that it's broken down into 2-hour segments, or approximately 2 hours. So whereas Twilight Imperium might take 6, 8, 10, 12 hours to finish a game, this game, Stellaris, will take that same concept and break them down into 2-hour games, 4 or 5 2-hour games instead of one major long game. And as you can see here, these boxes are going to hold your pieces, hold all your cards, everything. So you can quickly sort of lock up and start again next time you want to play. Again, it's been doing great. They are slowly introducing the game to people. The initial Kickstarter did not look great. It looked rushed. But as of now, they do have a live stream up. So if you are interested in seeing a playthrough of this game, then you can go to this page and watch it. See what this game is all about. One thing that I would note is that if you are interested in this game, the standard edition is $110, which means that you're going to have to choose. Is this game worth getting over Twilight Imperium 4 or Eclipse 2nd Edition? Or maybe you want it alongside it. But the only way to get the stretch goals is with the $170 level. The early bird adds this Devourer miniature and a Steam code for Stellaris, so not a lot, but still worth it. You don't want to miss out on that if you're going to get this game. The $170 level is going to add 2 boxes. First, it's going to add the 5th and 6th player edition, and a box for all of the stretch goals. A lot of people are upset with this because they want the stretch goals with the base game. They don't want the 5th and 6th player expansion, but they're sort of forced to get that. So, again, if you want to check out more about this game, then there was a link above. Go back and click it. And at the end of this video, there will be a link to my overview of this game. Stellaris Infinite Legacy. Next, we have Three Sisters, which is a small game, a roll-and-write, if you will, by the designer of Fleet the Dice game. And a lot of people have really been loving Fleet the Dice game lately. Three Sisters is going to be all about building up your little farm, your pumpkin patch, your corn, all these things, with a cheap price tag of only $30. Not bad. It's raised $40,000, almost 1,500 baggers, 17 days ago. It's doing what I would have expected. Now, throughout this game, you're going to be rolling your dice and sort of putting them on the action rondelle here. And people are going to be picking off these dice one at a time and doing the actions. These actions can be everything from planting to watering your plants, to getting new goods or your perennials. They have all sorts of things that you can do here. If you like roll and writes, this is going to be a game worth checking out, because it's up that alley, right? Now, if you do want this game, then note that the Kickstarter exclusive here that you will be getting is the Tractor Meeple. So everything else will be available later, probably for the same price tag, $30, but you won't get that little meeple. A solo mode is included, which is a big one for me, as I play a lot of solo games. They do have a couple playthroughs and previews that you can check out. But yeah, Three Sisters. If you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. Next, we have Valeria, the Card Kingdom's Darksworn. Again, $100,000 raised, 1,600 backers, 16 days to go. This is Valeria, the card game. It's been out for years. Over, I think, 6 years. 5-6 years ago it first came out. Now we are finally adding a cooperative gameplay mode with the Darksworn. So I'm not going to go into what this game is. Valeria's been out forever. It's a card game where you're sort of building yourself up and going against an opponent. But right now, you're able to play cooperative. The cooperative version, the Darksworn Saga, is going to have these 6 different books that form the Darksworn Saga that you and an ally will be cooperating in and trying to defeat. Now, if you are interested in this game, then you can get Valeria Card Kingdom 2nd Edition for $30. If you just want the expansion, you can get that for $30. If you want both the original game and this, then you can get it for $60. You can get everything, or that's the retail for $200. But yeah, Valeria, the Card Kingdom. They will have some add-ons here of some older content that you can get. So if you're looking for any of that, go ahead and check it out. They do point out that if you already have everything for Valeria, then it's probably looking like this and already chock full. You might not have room for this new expansion, which is why they're adding a bigger box. A box that can hold everything. So, yeah, if you're a fan of Valeria, the Card Kingdom, then you might as well pick up what you need right now. Next, we have Night Market, which I feel a little bad for. Less than 500 backers. They've met their pledge goal, $31,000 raised, 19 days to go. I feel like this is a game that is getting lost in the shuffle. There are so many things out right now that I expect this to do better than it has been. But what is this? The Night Market is going to be a game broken into 2 segments. The first segment, let's scroll down here, is going to be the day phase. And this is going to be sort of the worker placement phase, where you're placing workers onto the board and collecting a variety of different resources, such as sausage, bubble tea, chicken steak, and tofu. And as you get those things, you're going to be picking from 2 things, right? The regular districts and the lantern districts. And one of the fun things that I really love about this game are the combos that they allow to happen. Now, they have 2 combos shown here. First is the double combo, where you have one worker already placed here, where you got the sausage, and over here you're getting the chicken steak. Now, as you place this, since there's one opening between both of your workers, then you gain 2 goods. The one you place it on, and the one between. So you get this worker, and this one. On top of that, they have the triple combo, which means that as soon as you line up 3 meeples in a row, you're getting all 3 of those. So the way that you lay down your meeples really influences and changes the entire strategy of what you're going for. The lantern actions, as you lay people on the tiles with little lanterns on them, you're going to be able to do different things, such as hire chefs, which allow you to do a variety of things with other as you lay the chefs down, and you're able to build stalls and attract customers. So this is sort of building up. The lanterns are building up for the night phase. So you'll be building stalls, getting chefs, sort of just getting ready for the night market. The name of this game. You're getting ready to feed these people that you have attracted to your stands. And the second phase is going to be the night phase, where you are pretty much laying down all these tiles and feeding the people who you have attracted to your stands. Now, they do have a TTS mod if you want to check it out, and a solo experience. There is one thing that really just sort of bugs me with this game, which is going to be some of the additional content. So they have a little bit of a solo thing going on here, but with the pledge levels. The basic pledge is going to be $50 and come with some of the upgraded stuff that has come in the stretch goals, but nothing super special. If you want more of these upgraded type things, these upgraded little meeples, then you can get that in the $70 deluxe pledge. And on top of the deluxe pledge, you'll be able to pick one of 4, as of now, 4 different expansions. The solo experience, the skills expansion, the scooter expansion, or the arcade expansion. Each of these are going to be adding or changing sort of modularly the way that this game is played. And as I said, one thing really bothers me, and that is this solo experience being one of these add-ons. I want that in the base game, because I play a ton of solo games, and really it's not a decision for me. It's not a decision between whether I want the skills, the scooter, or the arcade. It is the solo experience that I have to take, because if I don't take that, then half the time that I personally am going to be playing this game, I won't be able to play it. So I really wish that this was not one of these choices and just added in with the base game. Now the other 3 expansions really do look okay, and we'll take a quick look at them in a second. There's an all-in pledge, get everything for $115 US. So they have a variety of expansions and things that you can add on. The worker skills are going to change what your workers can do. The solo experience is what it sounds like. The solo experience. The scooter expansion is going to replace the after-hours scooter use in the base game and replace it with a much more robust delivery system. The arcade expansion is going to add a little mini game with these stall games that are added to your night market. So I do like that they give a variety and allow you to pick and choose what you want. I just wish that solo experience was added in with the base game. But if you are interested in Night Market, go ahead and check it out. It definitely seems like a game that is worth getting. Next up, we have a big one this week, Eternal Palace. $60,000 raised, $1,300. This is going to be a game that people have been waiting for, that was announced a while back, and is finally here. This is a dice placement painting Euro game. As you can see, I have pledged at the dollar level because I plan to save up the money. We'll go over some of the stuff later, but I plan to save up and be able to purchase this at a later date with the late pledge. So the base game is going to be $46, and as you can see here, this is a quick view of this game. You're going to be rolling dice, and as you roll the dice, you're going to see what all your opponents are rolling as well. Then you're going to use those dice to pick your actions. You can see here that they have different numbers throughout the board, 1 through 12. The different varieties between a 1 dice and 2 dice that you can add to these boards. You can see here it has the 6 dice, or 2 dice that equals 6 here, 1 dice that equals 1 here. Each of these spots is going to have a different thing that you can do. And there are going to be a variety of tracks that you're going to try to be moving up, resources that need gathered, paintings that need built, monuments that need built, all sorts of things that you're trying to do in this game. You're going to roll all these dice and pick one at a time between you and your opponents which of these places you are going to go. So you might be able to guess where your opponent's going to go based off their dice rolls. They might be able to see where you might go based off of yours. So there's going to be a little bit of play. Do I use a 5 and a 4 that I roll twice to try to get the 5 and 4 spot? Or do I combine them to get the 9 spot? Which is going to be better for me? What is my opponent going to do? How can I block them? There's going to be a lot of interactivity there between players based off of where they're going. So, it's a dice placement game at heart. You're trying to build these different paintings up. If we scroll down here, here's a picture of the board. So you can see, like, here's a track that you're trying to move up. Here's a track that you're trying to move around. A variety of tracks down here that you're trying to move up. So it's going to be a little bit of a game where you're trying to decide, which do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on this spot over here or this top spot? What is my opponent focusing on? Do I want to stop them or let them go and hope that they let me go and do my own thing? There's a lot going on in this game. I am personally not usually a fan of dice placement games, but this looks like one that I definitely want. The fact that I'm able to pick and choose based off of my dice and what my opponents do, what I would choose for my dice to do, really appeals to me, as well as does the picking pieces for your paintings. Throughout the game, you're going to be trying to make these wonderful paintings. They have 80 different pieces here. And you're going to be doing all these different things. They have a solo mode. The deluxe edition is, as we said, the base game is going to be what, $49 US, 46. The deluxe is going to be $59 and include this additional stuff, the 4 monuments, minis, as well as 2 mini expansions. The labyrinth, where you're going to be moving, depending on the direction of arrows, from spot to spot, trying to make your way to the middle. This is going to be a way that you are able to sort of get different resources. On top of that, you'll get the exports expansion, which will add a new board and a variety of different export cards. Again, giving you a variety of options of things to do with your dice. Now, one thing I will note is that with the stretch goals, as we scroll down here, the stretch goals are adding some really fun things that I love. Different painting piece goals, and the alternative location tiles. So far, we've unlocked a couple of them. The 6, the 12, this track, the 7 track. These are going to be different tiles that you can place on top of the board over where the 7 is or the 12 is to change up what those spots do. And I personally really love that and hope that we're able to get that for every single spot, because that's going to give so much variety to this game, so many different things that you can do, that it definitely seems 100% worth it. So, Eternal Palace. And looks like a great dice placement game. If you love that genre, there's no reason to not check this out. Go ahead and click the link below. While you're down there, subscribe. If you're finding value here, go ahead and hit the like button. Next up, we have Sleeve Kings. Now, a lot of you know that Sleeve Kings as far as I know, used to be part of Fantasy Flight, and that's been discontinued. And so Sleeve Kings is having a Kickstarter, and they have a variety of different pledge levels that you can go. They have the 5 packs of sleeves for $10, 25 packs for $45, 50 packs for $85. If you are looking for a way to sleeve your games, and you missed the Paladin sleeves Kickstarter a couple months ago, which Paladin is my go-to, Sleeve Kings is going to be a good one to go ahead and hop on. You're able to get pretty cheap sleeves of very good quality. Just be sure to check it out. If you need to sleeve your games, there's no reason not to go ahead and join this campaign. Next up, we have 2 games in 1 by Eagle Games. We have the Fox Diamonds and the Baseball Highlights dice game. It's been doing okay. 443 backers, $14,000 raised, 11 days to go. Let's take a look. Fox Diamonds is going to be a suit trick-taking game. that is sort of giving this little board or these pieces an additional thing based or additional play on top of the trick-taking game. Fox Diamonds, I guess some people are interested in it. They have an overview if you like these kind of games. I personally never think that they are worth it over just a basic deck of cards and all the different kinds of games that are out for that. But this is the one I want to look at. The Baseball Highlights dice game. This is going to be a dice roll and write, pretty much. A dice roll and write. That kind of means roll and write. It's a roll and write game where you and your opponents are rolling these dice and seeing if you get singles, doubles, triples, home runs, walks, strikeouts, all these different places, and you're marking them on your little board, and we're seeing who can have the best score, who can do the most. Now, this is a game based off of the popular Baseball Highlights 2045 that is giving sort of a smaller version. If you like baseball, there's no reason not to get this, because there's not a ton of baseball games out there or that give that feeling, and this might just do that for you. Top of that, they have the Football Highlights dice game that is included with it, which is the same thing except the football version, pretty much, where you're picking a play and seeing what you can do, marking them off on your board. So if you like sports, if you're a fan of baseball or football, go ahead and check out this dice game below. There's not a lot that are really good at translations, and this might just be one of them. Finally this week, we have on Gamefound, not Kickstarter, Gamefound, 4 new games that have been released by Peterson Games. And it's not been doing great. 105 backers, $7,000 raised. Probably the big flop of Gamefound so far. This is going to be, I believe, their 3rd campaign. Yeah, you had Kingdom Rush before this, which was their first big one. No, you had ISS Vanguard, which was their first big one. And then you had Kingdom Rush, and then now this. And this is, I believe, going to be their first big flop. Of course, they've reached their funding goal, whatever. 4 different games. You're going to have Invasion of the Brood, which they market as War of the World meets Independence Day. You're going to have Marry the Monster, which is trick the monster into smashing your rivals. You're going to be laying pieces down, trying to get your monster to go to your opponent's pieces and destroy them. You're going to have a running game and Evacuate, and a Potions and Profits game, where even Magic Dreams have a price. Each of these games are ready to ship, which is a big deal because a lot of games you're sort of paying for the upfront costs and then waiting months and months and months. These 4 games have already been developed, and you're basically paying to get them now, within the next couple of months. Now, this is going to be a quick look at Invasion of the Brood and what you're doing. Not my thing. I can't even... Your pieces, they don't really have any information there. They have more information down below. Let's click here and see. Yeah, they have different playthroughs. You're able to play things on Tabletop Simulator. So I must have gone too far. Nope. I'm in the same place I just was. It just doesn't give a lot of information about what's going on here. So this is what Invasion of the Brood looks like. Marry the Monster. This is Mary. And you're trying to get Mary to go to your enemies' little buildings to knock them over. The Evacuate will have these sorts of creatures going on. Don't even know what the heck's going on. Potions and Profits has a unicorn horn. Different ingredients. Again, you can play all of these on Tabletop Simulator if you're interested in them. Check out some videos that I'm not personally going to check out. Read some rule books. Just know that these are on Gamefound and not Kickstarter. Invasion of the Brood will be $25. What the crap? Potions and Profits, $25. Marry the Monster is $40, and Evacuate is $40. So if they at all pique your interest, oh, here's the explanations, right? Marry the Monster. You're going to be building your houses and fortifying them and trying to get Marry the Monster to destroy your opponent's houses. Pretty simple. Evacuate. You're going to be secretly choosing a run card. As you can see, they're running in a line. You're going to move the survivors based off of the cards that you chose, and then resolve the actions based on the cards that they land on. On top of that, you're going to have Nomia card to see who loses a survivor. Which tile pretty much loses a survivor. Invasion of the Brood is you're going to be spreading your influence around. Humans wake up and fight back. Independence Day, right? War of the Worlds, and I guess that's all the information they give. Like, not great. I don't love this campaign because they have 4 games going on at once and give less information for each individual game than any Kickstarter does. Potions and Profits is no information, so that's fun. Again, Gamefound, not Kickstarter. I want Gamefound to do well. I've not been the biggest fan so far of what's going on. But as you can see here at the top, Robinson Crusoe, a big game. Something people have been looking forward to is coming out in 8 days. And you can go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, because I will be covering that campaign in depth in a Who Should Back It video. So again, thank you for joining me today. Be sure to check out the Patreon. I will have some more videos coming out this week. I've been working on the Terraforming Mars video and who I think should play that, as well as a variety of other things. So, thank you, and as always, game on.